Well. As long as we had that video where it was positive and hey guys, stay tuned for the new review, and then I had the whole thing about thanks for 4 years of support after all the videos about this is an awesome movie got recommended to me, this is a really good movie called Obsession, this is a really good movie called Michael, about Michael Jackson. Today I have a dish served cold for you today, as we have an absolute just mediocre, the pinnacle of playing it safe. I will find a title for this video, but yeah, the Daredevil Born Again Season 2, we'll get into that and the misery of it, but just so you know, for a bit of context, I have enjoyed the original Daredevil, enjoyed the first season, enjoyed all 3 seasons even actually. The second season has its ups and its downs with Elektra and things, but I still enjoyed it. Still liked the Punisher, still liked the story, still liked the characters, still got on the edge of my seat watching it, still had everything I liked about the original season, but just did a little bit more too, and I liked that as well. Like the third season, how it caps off the storyline, and honestly, Daredevil Season 3 2018 is where this should have ended, because as we're going to get into this, it only gets worse from here. So yeah, but I have to be honest with a bit of context, but further context here, that Born Again Season 1 is just an absolute mediocre fest, where they just did not have the direction, the acting capability, even the sort of way where the writers and directors were competent enough to write a really well made show, because it takes everything that you love about Daredevil and shoves it right down the toilet, in my opinion, where they did not have a direction for the show. There's a side quest episode in the first season, there's really weird editing choices, loads of CGI and loads of stuff where it feels like it's all manufactured behind a green screen. So there is all of that. I've built all that context up, and so what you need to know about this season is that it is a continuation of the first season, where it goes and it dives deeper into Bullseye and Daredevil and the Kingpin and all that stuff that you knew about Season 1, and you get that sort of thing where it's all about that and how Wilson Fisk is trying his hardest to upset New York City once more. And you can go and you can look at the plot description, but that's my best description of it. It's a cat and mouse chase between the good guys and the bad guys, and there's something happening, something's about to happen, something's about to give, something's about to go down, and it's that type of show. And so you've got about 8 episodes here, and so the first thing I will say is that I do appreciate that this season at least does try to actually have a structure to it, where you know right from the get-go what you're in for, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's not going on a tangent like the first season where you see this other storyline creep in about this other character and this other character and what it means for the story. It does try its best to really be a structured, streamlined season where you know what's going to happen in every single episode. So that is what I like about the show. But it has a lot of things where it is just worse for wear, just horrible, just that type of way where once you watch one episode, it feels like you're about to go and do the dishes, do a washing, do the hoovering, that type of thing, where you're just putting yourself through it, really, consuming it rather than enjoying it. And honestly, that's what it felt like to me. And I will say that the episodes are really, really slow as well in here, where you watch one episode, it has the cliffhanger element where watch and find out what happens next, and then watch another episode, find out what happens next, and all that, right? But then it just drags itself so on, where it drags on and on and on and on and on and on, where you just feel like that this show has been going on for more than the 40-minute run times that it actually is on. Like, some of these episodes actually feel longer than they're supposed to be, and you just feel like, well, I already knew what Wilson Fisk was up to. I already knew what Bullseye was trying to do, and how, spoiler alert if you've not seen season 1, where Bullseye kills Foggy and Foggy Nelson, who was a part of that lawyer firm that Matthew Murdoch and the other lady was a part of. And it just tries to dwell on season 1 a bit there, where it's like, hey, this Bullseye guy, he killed the Foggy from the first season, right? It's like one of the first scenes of season 1 is just, hey, we've killed Foggy off, we killed the older character from the show off, and I did not like that. I did not like that choice that they made, because it killed all momentum from the show, because now we had to invest in different characters, and it didn't have the same energy as that. So I didn't like that, and what I don't really like about the whole Foggy element and the Bullseye element was how it's just flashbacks and just swinging keys about, where it's like, hey, remember when Foggy was alive and you could see him walking about with Matthew Murdoch, and he was going over here and he was walking over there, and sure, these are newly filmed scenes, but to tell a story, to really get down to the bottom of it and give some people a reason to watch it, it just felt like spamming flashbacks that were newly filmed just to get you ingrained in the storyline, rather than telling the story where you're engaged by it. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's just thrown in so lazily. It feels like remember when you were at school and you had to do the assignment had to do it by 11:59. That's what it felt like. So last minute with those flashbacks, in my opinion. And even from a filmmaking perspective here, there is still a lot of bad CGI in this, where especially things like episode 4, where you have Bullseye, he's fighting Daredevil, but it's so slow motion, feels like it's flying about a green screen, and this just happens all the time throughout the show. And even if once you get deeper into the episodes and you go from episode 1 to episode 8, a lot of the action is really, really poorly rendered, horribly crafted, just not exciting to watch action. Whereas the original Daredevil, when you feel the punch, you feel like it's actually like boom, like that, like actually hitting the guy's face, the guy's falling on the floor. Whereas this, it's just, whoa, I'm falling over, I've got blood on my back, sort of thing. And it just does that sort of thing where it just takes away what made the original show good, doubles down on it, makes it worse, does horrible writing even further. And so we've talked about the flashbacks, talked about the slow pace, the acting. Let's get to the acting and see the acting in this show. I'll be honest, it's passable acting, where it is just Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio playing to the exact same style of acting they done before, and that's about it really. Nothing to write home about there, nothing to write an absolute article over. It's just, it was alright. And that's how I felt for most of this show. And then you get to the ending of the series, and this is a spoiler too, where I have to be honest that the ending is underwhelming too, because I know what Disney's like. They want to drag it out, they want to absolutely milk it and all this, but it's just like the way that it ends and how it is so slow, it is so jarring to watch, it is so boring to watch. And as soon as you get to the final episode, and you just see, you do get Daredevil and, Kingpin in the same court case, in the same room at the same time. They get to absolutely hate the hell out of each other in the same room. But what I don't like is that it literally just has this quick dialogue, and you've got Daredevil and you've got I should say Matthew Murdoch in the situation where he is the lawyer in this scene, and all the people come up with is like, oh, he's Daredevil, he's blind, how can he do all this stuff, right? And it's just, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's that type of level where just so flat, just so polished and bland and a bit dire at times, where it just does not feel exciting to watch, and the writing isn't good, the acting is okay, the way they tell the story, it's a bit more structured, you get a bit of a better main streamlined storyline, but what you end up getting out of this is mediocrity. And that's honestly what I felt as well. And another thing, before we get into the rating out of 10, I have to mention this because this was a problem in season 1, and they've just absolutely bazookaed this. They've blown it out of the water with this one, as when they have Jessica Jones in the show, I remember she was on the film set and she's in the trailers and all this stuff, but she's just a freaking cameo in the show, and it's just like, bruh, you know what I mean? Like, you're watching this show, you're watching it all unfold, just to see Jessica Jones maybe throw a punch in a warehouse with Daredevil, and she shows up at the end with Luke Cage, and yeah, just wasn't impressed after all of that. And I did say in my original review of Daredevil Born Again Season 1 that it was a mere 6 or 7 out of 10, haha, for the brain rot side of things there with the 6-7, but I did say it was like a 6 or 7 out of 10, I believe, in my original reaction to the first season of my full review. And what I'll be honest is, because of the way it's more streamlined, there's more of a direct story where it's pointing towards something, I will edge it, but I'm gonna have to be honest with you. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not the best thing ever. It has a lot of problems. It has one thing that I liked about it was how the structure was there, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I have decided it's a 6 out of 10. It's below expectations of what it was trying to deliver. And this is really what happened with the first season too, but this is just kind of more of the same of that. And so yeah, there is all of that. I did try to be thorough here, tried to explain it as much as possible. So I had a structure to it, just like this season had, but I also tried to make sure that I jumped from that one angle to the other, so that I had everything under my belt and was able to explain everything. So that's it really. That's my full review to this. I will probably need to put chapters in this as well, because it's going over 10 minutes long, so that is that. And so I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will do a quick video about the Punisher 1 kill, which is like, it's a short TV special thing that they done, which I think it has relations to Daredevil Born Again obviously, but it's also leading up to the new Spider-Man film where Punisher will be in it. So stay tuned for more reviews, and what a way to start off the new era of the James Ramblin reviews 4 years on, where we are just going at it with this review, deep diving into this. So see you after. Goodbye.